As the national student indebtedness continues to grow, applying to medical school isn't taken into those calculations. So in this video, I'm going to cover how much does it take to apply to medical school from MCAT, CASPER, Primary and Secondary Application. So sit back and relax as we crunch the numbers. What's up YouTube? Hope you're having a great day. For those of you that are new here, my name is Jason Krasny. I'm going to be an incoming first year medical student of the George Washington School of Medicine. Now, applying to medical school isn't really talked about in the fees that you have to pay and how much really goes into it. So in this video, I'm going to cover all the little parts and bits and pieces that are taken into account when push comes to shove and you apply to medical school. So in this calculation, I'm not going to cover how much undergraduate tuition and how much indebtedness is covered there. I'm strictly sticking to pure AAMC and mandatory fees and costs that come with applying to medical school. So we're going to start with taking of the MCAT. The MCAT costs $320 to register, but registering for the MCAT isn't the only fee you're going to be charged with. How do you study for the MCAT is a bigger question. I'm going to take those numbers into account. So for the third-party testing, for my own research, I've seen that costs come between $3,000 and $1,500. While there are some companies that will offer summer immersive programs which can hit almost $6,000, majority of those who are taking the MCAT are paying between $3,000 and $1,500. So let's just leave it at an even $2,000. That is just $2,000 for a third-party prep course. Now, let's say you don't want to pay that big sum for a third-party prep. You guys can check out one of my previous videos where I describe my MCAT study plan and how I did it without a third-party company paying over $2,000. But what else is needed when studying for the MCAT? So the two things that I think are going to cost you but are definitely necessary are UWorld and the AAMC online bundle, which covers the section-based practice questions and practice tests. For all the UWorld practice questions, it costs $289 for a 6-month package. And then on top of that, you also want to add in the AAMC online bundle, which is $268. Now you have all these amazing resources, but according to AAMC's own database, 36% of those taking the test between the years 2017 and 2019 were retakers, meaning they had taken the test already and were taking it for either the second, third, or more times. So with that taken into account, a large percentage of people are retaking the exam, registering for the MCAT twice in order to show you guys the true numbers. So if you're going to take the MCAT twice, you're going to sign up and register for a third-party service. You're also going to get proper testing prep from UWorld and AAMC. Your cost comes up to over $3,000. Now again, watch my previous video on how I self-study and take out that $2,000 cost. But let's keep it in for a more conservative number. According to Princeton Review, which pulled their data from AAMC, average student applies to 16 medical schools. Now, anecdotally, I've heard more so between 20 and 25 schools. Now, I think that the average is skewed slightly for those who are in pre-matriculation programs, i.e. those that applied to BSMD programs straight from high school, or those that applied to a 6-year program in their sophomore year of undergrad. This will then skew the data slightly towards the left because those students really only apply to a few, 1 or 2 medical schools. So for our counting's sake, let's stick with AAMC's numbers. So before you even start opening up your primary or secondary application, you have to take a CASPER exam. What is CASPER? CASPER is used by academic programs to obtain a more reliable and meaningful assessment of applicants' personal competencies. In essence, it's a way to test the morals and ethics of students in their own testing environment. Now, the difficult part about this exam is that you don't know how well you did. You are taking the test and then it goes off to medical schools. That's all that you get from it. Not all medical schools that most people apply to require the CASPER test, but to be more conservative, I'm going to state that all 16 medical schools that the average student applies to is going to require the CASPER exam. So let's add in the numbers and costs of taking this exam. It costs $10 to take the test, but if you want to transmit the data to all the schools, it costs an additional $10 per school. So the initial testing is $10, plus you're going to apply and send it off to 16 medical schools. Your total comes out to $170 just to take and send off this exam. Next, you're applying and you send in your primary application through AAMC. Let's run those numbers. For the 2022 application cycle, it costs $170 for the first school you apply to, and then $42 for each additional school that you're going to apply to. So again, we'll run the same numbers. $170 for the first school, plus $42 for the 15 additional schools, and your total comes to $800 for the primary application. Next, you've already submitted your primary application and now you're getting all those great secondaries. So much writing to describe why you want to go to specific schools. If you guys want to know how I prepared for all the secondaries, leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to make another video for you. So in my research, the cost of secondaries ranges vastly. There's some that are free, very few, but for the most part, they are between $40 and $240. So let's take the average and run from there. So we'll say that the average cost of a secondary is going to be $170. So you have $170 times your 16 medical schools and you're at $2,720. The secondaries are just to even have medical schools and admissions committees look past and really get into. So let's crunch all these numbers to see how much does it cost to apply to medical school. One caveat that I want to note is that because of when I applied to medical school during COVID, all of my interviews were online, so I didn't have to fly anywhere. I didn't have to book hotels. I didn't have to prep meals. I was able to save a lot of money there. So take that into account into future calculations. So how much does it take to apply to medical school? It hurts to say this, but it takes $7,387 to apply to medical school. Again, I want to note that if you want to cut off $2,000 from the MCAT section, that'll put us just over $5,000, which still hurts, but $2,000 in the pocket is definitely very important. So you have it here, over $7,000 to apply to medical school. This means that you guys have to save up. Now there's ways that you can get fee assistance in every subcategory, so do your own research to see how you can make this work better for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like more of these videos where I break down the little nuances of applying to medical school, leave a comment down below. My goal is to truly share and make all of this as transparent as can be, so that way everyone sees that medical school is accessible to them. So please be sure to like and subscribe and hit that post notification bell. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I can't do it without your guys' help. So I'll see you guys in the next one as we all embark on the journey of MD in the making.